Good evening, everybody. I hope you're well. Some of you are here early, so we're here a little bit early just so that people think we're alive when we get here. I've got a really strange live behind me, which I've flicked off. So thank you for coming along. We are going to start in a couple of minutes. We'll just wait for everybody to get here and then we'll get into this session and crack on with tonight's training. So do let me know where you are. Hi, Gazella. I don't know how to pronounce it right, but it's nice to see you again. Saw you last week. Tioman, welcome. Hector, you were here really early. You were well on time. RI, great to have you here. We're going to get started in a couple more minutes. I'm just going to welcome everybody in and then we'll get started because I don't want anybody to miss the first half. This is kind of action-packed this week. We had a bit more of a chilled out session last week, but some of you from last week are starting to see your content really rise. And now this week, we're actually going to talk about what are the things that make content work. And by work, I mean that it actually gets you meaningful conversations with people. So do let us know where you are. Siram, sorry, I'm looking at a screen that's a little bit away, so I have to look like that and see. So welcome, Lucia. Welcome from London. I'm in Plymouth this evening, running this from my office. So it's nice to see you all. Anne, welcome, Anne. Anne, we're getting like regulars here, aren't they? I'm here regularly and you're here regularly. So welcome. If you were here last week, hi, Judith. Manchester. Denmark. Hi, Peter. Hi, Ankit. Now, Ankit, were you here last week? I think you were. Some of the people who came last week, we actually did a little experiment this week, and it isn't finished. It's by no means finished, but we've been running an experiment. Sarah, welcome back. Sarah was in our experiment last week. We ran a little experiment last week. Yes, Ankit, how's your content this week? Because if you've seen an increase in your content this week, we're about to take it to a new level this week. So Isle of Man for Sarah. Ankit, so I've seen some of your posts this, Ankit, and we're going to... Ankit. So, Ankit, I don't know whether I can pick on you, and you can tell me off for this afterwards, but you were skeptical of the pod thing last week, and I'm sure you're not as skeptical today. But this session actually will amplify it even more. So everything that you learned last week in the session. Hi, Tim. Welcome. Hi, Paul. Paul, you're a glutton for punishment. Back again. I was speaking to Paul today. He's got an amazing business in Warrington. They're working with a lot of their construction sites around the northwest of England. So we had a really good chat about what he was doing today. So we're going to get started today, and it's very, very simple today's session. You'll be able to go away with this and really use it. Now, there's some more people here. Ankit's had a great... much better response from last week. And Ankit, I'm just using you as an example. You were skeptical. Hey, Paulie. Hey, Samay. PUBG lovers. Hi. So we're going to get into today's session. If you missed last week's session, do drop us a line, drop us an email, and we'll send you the link. We don't keep them up for very long. Last week, we had a ton of people on, and it got a bit out of control. And at one point, we had about 500-600 people watching, and that was pretty intense. So welcome. We're going to get started now. Just before we get started, can I be really, really cheeky? Hi, RIMI. Can I be really cheeky and go, please give us a like and a subscribe. We're trying to build the channel, giving free value. I've shared this before, but I have a book that I highly recommend you look at. It's called The Curve, and it's by Nicholas Lovell. Don't know if you can see that, The Curve. And it basically works on the basis that, basically says that you need about 1,000 fans for your business to really fly. And that's people who believe in what you do, who think you do an amazing job, all of that stuff. So if you've not been to the other sessions, please drop us an email, hi@maverrik.com, and say, hey, can I have a look at some of the previous other sessions? We did a social selling workshop. We've done a Facebook workshop, and we did a grow your business with no money workshop. So there's 3 of those already, and we're going to keep doing it every single week. So if you subscribe, you'll see it. Hi, Alice. Welcome back. Right. So tonight we're going to go through content, how to write it so it creates new clients, it converts people, it interests people, it gets the right people listening. There's a lot of stuff to take in, so I'm going to do some practical examples as well to help you. So, hi, Vabaf. Sorry, I'm really reading a tiny screen. Hello, Jano. Welcome. So let's get going, and remember to do the likes and the subscribes. That'll be awesome. Okay, so tonight we're going to cover creating content and how to make an impact, how to write copy that sells, how to separate yourself from the crowd, and leveraging pain points to create a compelling proposition. So these 4 points that we're going to cover, they're all going to kind of merge into one because a lot of the principles of all of them come together. And I'll teach you one simple method to do this. Security, if you message us, hi@maverrik.com, we'll give you all the details from last week for the pod that massively helps you get visibility on social media, whether it be LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. So go ahead and email us for those. Okay, just some basic rules before we get into any more. Right, there's 4 stages for hi Renero. Excuse me. There's 4 stages for someone taking action. There's the problem. They realize they have a problem and they need to fix it. There's the outcome. They see other people are having different outcomes to them. So in other words, I've got a problem is one stage. Then they see other people having a different outcome. Their sales are better than theirs. Their business is growing faster. They seem to be better positioned in the market, whatever it is. And they see where they are. And then the next stage is they see where other people are or where they could be. Yeah. So they see where they are, the problem, the frustrations, the challenges, the setbacks, the disappointments, the missed opportunities, all of those things. And then the next stage is they see where they could be, the potential, that what other people are achieving. Yeah. Jana, this will help in all forms of content because it's about, at the end of the day, whatever medium you're using for content, it's about you connecting with people and getting people to think that you have value to them. That's what content's about. You've got to convince people that you have value to them. And that's what this is all about. So if you spend the time going through this free training, you will have a massive leg up on everybody else. And I'll show you some examples of why content goes wrong. Now, this content won't get you viral, but it will get the attention of buyers. It will get the attention of buyers. So that's what it will do. So the problem, then they see the outcome. They can have a different result. They now see it's possible to have a different result. Then comes the next stage where they have to make a decision that they are going to pursue a different outcome. Yeah, lots of people look at outcomes. We call them tire kickers, but they actually never make a decision that they're going to change anything. And then they have to buy into your solution. So there's the problem, there's the outcome, there's the decision, and there's the solution. And you need all of those 4 things to come together to make it work. And I'm going to show you how we use this problem-centric strategy to create content that will keep people's attention. So if you're struggling with content, you don't know what to write, you don't know what to put together, and what's the right thing to say, not say, and all of those things, this will help you do that. This will help. I use LinkedIn as my main channel. And when I'm using LinkedIn as my main channel, I find that I can get really interested people buying from me by content. More so in terms of the buying decision, it's much easier to sell to somebody who engages with me through my content than it is if I sent a message and reached out to them. So this is a great way to do it. So everybody get that? Hi, Jonathan. Welcome. So it's problem, outcome, decision, solution. And don't worry, if you've registered on Eventbrite, we will send you a copy of these slides afterwards, so you don't have to kind of remember everything. But if you want to kind of implement it in the next 24 hours, make some notes. I will do questions at the end, so don't worry, we'll hang fire for some questions at the end too. And if you get questions in the meantime, do put them in the comments. I can see them and I will flick through as we go. So people buy if they believe that you can solve their problem, give them a better outcome. That's as simple as problem and outcome. If they believe you can solve their problem and give them an outcome, it's done. So that's the really important one. So I'm not going to go through this because this is just a fundamental thing that we believe about how you convince people to buy from you. And it's something we stand by on everything we do. You've got to build rapport. You've got to build trust. You've got to build demand. You've got to build credibility. You've got to build likability. And you've got to build expert status. Now, whether you're selling as a brand or a person, these apply. If people don't believe you, if people don't trust you, if you're not creating the demand, it will not happen. So it's really important. And in future sessions, we're actually going to break these down in more detail. Okay, here we go. Secret to high converting content. Stop writing content for shoppers and start writing for buyers. Now people go, what the hell does that mean? Stop writing content for shoppers and start writing for buyers. Now I run various different training courses, and today I had three people who'd been on our programs chatting today about different things, and this is one of the topics we talked about today with one of our learners, students, whatever you want to call them. And we talked about the different types of contents. And let me give you an example of writing content for a shopper. Do you need VA services? Would you like a virtual assistant? That's content targeted at a shopper. However, if you want to write content targeted at a buyer is somebody different. It's somebody who can buy but isn't looking. Whereas a shopper is somebody who's ready to buy but is looking around. They're shopping around. Whereas a buyer is somebody who needs your service. So, yes, there's window shoppers as well. What I'm talking about is there are people in our marketplace, whichever it is, whether it's big corporates or tiny gig economy stuff. There are people who are looking round, shopping round for your stuff. In other words, they're comparing you to other people. And then there's other people who are living with a problem and haven't yet decided how to solve it. They haven't even decided whether they want to solve it. And what I'm trying to say is the shoppers are the people who already know they're looking for it. They're the people Googling. They're all of those. And if you want to get into that fighting, bidding war for that stuff, great. But this is what I'm talking about, creating organic customers with content. Very, very simple. So content for shoppers is, do you need a VA? Yeah, in other words, I want a VA, so I'm looking for a VA. Whereas writing for a buyer is, are you a small business owner and struggling to manage your time? That's somebody who's got a problem that hasn't identified a solution yet. And your content and your posting on social media and your lead magnets and your website is all designed to show the buyer that they want to save time. A great way to do it is to have a VA service. So some of you watching this today, hi David, hi Chris, some of you watching this today have been catering for shoppers. And when you're catering for shoppers, one, you're trying to stand out from the crowd against other people. And that can be a competitive space. So what you want to do is write something for the buyer. And I will go and give you some examples on this. And you might go, ooh, that seems quite nuanced. It's not. It's all comes down to some explanations we're going to go through right now. So some of my students go through this in detail, but I'm going to give you a high level overview. People buy to solve pain. Yeah. Even the Lamborghini driver, as some of my students know, buys to solve a pain point. In this case, an aspirational problem, but I'm not going into it in too much detail. But they buy to save, recover, gain, lose, cut one of these. Yeah, that's always the case, whether you're selling Lamborghinis or insolvency services. It's all the same. People are buying to solve a pain. And there are 4 quadrants to pain. So what you need to do in your content is talk about the pain, not your solution. So if you want to cater to shoppers, people looking round in a competitive marketplace, talk about the solution. But if you want to find buyers and bypass that competitive process, in other words, create customers in your marketplace rather than find customers in your marketplace, talk about the pain. So, how many of you, just let me know if you're still awake and if you want to participate in a little experiment. Because if you want to participate in an experiment, let me know in the comments and we'll do it. And I want your honest answers to see if I can trigger this reaction in you. So if you want to participate in an experiment, please put yes in the comments and I will experiment this with you. So when you have a headache, you want pain relief. So here's the experiment. Everybody ready for the experiment? You're going to have to get more interactive than that, guys. I'm giving you stuff here. Come on, I need to know you're awake. So let me know in the comments. So great, there's a few of you volunteering. So if you've been to one of my physical events, you'll know this story. So question, how many of you have been to the dentist? How many of you have been to the dentist? How many's been to the dentist? You've all been to the dentist, great. So if you've been to the dentist, awesome. You have wonderful teeth, wonderful. Let's say that you wake up in the middle of the night with excruciating toothache. Now in the UK, we have emergency dentists. You can ring up and the emergency dentists will say to you, we can do something about this. When you have toothache, the first priority is not to get rid of the tooth. It's not to get them whiter. It's not to remove that stain. It's not, it's get rid of the pain. Get rid of the pain. So you will take pain relief. You'll Google how to get rid of toothache. You'll go onto social media articles and stuff to find how to get rid of toothache. You will look on Google for toothache home remedies. You will search for things that gets rid of toothache. So if I'm Mr. Business Owner, small business owner, and I need more time, I'm feeling overrun. If you understand what I'm feeling and what I'm understanding my problem to be, I can write content, or you can write content that I will go and look for and I will engage with. So if I'm a business owner with no time and I see a post from one of my Facebook friends, one of my LinkedIn connections that says, are you a business owner struggling to manage your own time? Do you feel overwhelmed at all the work you've got to do? And actually, do you wake up in the morning feeling terrified of all the work ahead of you and sometimes feel guilty going back downing tools in an evening? These are really great ways to do pain. So let's do the experiment. So we talked about dentists and toothache, and if you've had lunch today, let's imagine that you've had something really tasty but very crunchy. So you've had something very, very crunchy. And let's say like a piece of bread or a sandwich with seeds in or something like that. And you notice that something's stuck in your teeth. Yeah, so you've got something stuck in your teeth between like a little gap in your mouth somewhere or something like that. And all of a sudden, you find that little bit of food that might be stuck between your teeth, you have to kind of get it out. You can't stop. You have to get that little piece of food out. You have to kind of remove it. And you find yourself actually moving your tongue round, to get it out. Anybody experience this, or is it just me being disgusting, sharing this story with you? Or sometimes you find like a bit of your mouth that you've never discovered before with your tongue. Anybody done this? Anybody want to admit to this? You find a new bit in your mouth that you'd never discovered before, and then you're wondering, is it a piece of food that's stuck? Is it a cavity? I've got a hole in my tooth appearing, and it can actually take a bit of your time. Yeah? So as I've been talking about teeth, has anybody had the strange dream? And this will all make sense, by the way. This will all make absolute sense in a moment. Has anybody had a strange dream where their teeth fall out? Anybody had one of those? Where you like dreaming your teeth are falling out? I have. I don't know if anybody else wants to admit to that. Yeah. Right. So, how many of you have now checked your mouth, your teeth with your tongue as I've been talking? Anybody? Anybody checked their teeth with their tongue as I've been sharing this example? Yeah. Some will, some won't, depending on how you're wired about. Yeah. So some will, some won't. So if I understood my audience, so I don't know your audience, this audience so well, because I'm talking to such a big or wide audience tonight. There's about 100 of you on here. So if I understand my audience, my target customer really well, I can decide and work out what their headache is that my service can provide the pain relief. So you see what I'm saying? Customers have headaches. Service providers' products provide pain relief. Customers have toothache. We're the emergency dentist. Everybody with me? Headache, pain relief. So when you're posting, when you're doing what you're doing on blogs and articles, and we'll go through a format in a second, when you're doing all of this, your aim is not, here's my solution. What do you think of my solution? It's, do you have this problem? Because I've got a solution. Do you have this problem? Because I've got a solution. And we'll go through a process that you can do. So when you have a headache, you want pain relief. When you have toothache, you want an emergency dentist, or you want a dentist, or you want pain relief. Yeah. Chris, it means you're not worried about your teeth. Absolutely not whatsoever. That's why I said it might work and it might not with the group, because it's a wide group. And if I was a dentist, I'd be writing about tooth problems if I wanted more clients. I wouldn't be writing about how wonderful my teeth were unless I was catering to a particular different audience, which we'll come to in a minute. So your job is to sell pain. Your job is to talk about the pain that your product, your service, or your solution can alleviate. Your pain relief can solve. So you talk about the pain that your product, service, or solution can solve. So when you're busy, you want more time. When you're busy, you don't want a VA. You want more time. But if a VA can give you time, virtual assistant can give you time, then that's a good way to get time. Yeah? But don't be under any illusion. People are not buying a VA service for the sake of a VA service. They're buying it to get time. That's their outcome, time. Another outcome for a VA service could be stress, or they don't want to do some tasks. Some tasks are mundane and boring them, and they're sick of doing them. So they want to buy a service that means they don't have to do the boring stuff. Yeah? Prayesh, you're on the right lines with that, but maybe not that direct. You might, and I'll show you a method for that in a minute. So when you're trying to alleviate some pain, you have to understand the reason they've got the pain. What's the pain about? Understand that. Get in the heads. Become an expert of your customers' pains that your product can solve. Yeah. If you don't know that down, you will be mad. Become an expert in the pains that your product, service, and solution can solve. And the reason I say that is Your customers may only have to deal with their pain once. Yeah, they may only have to deal with their pain once, whereas you will be dealing with it day in and day out for your customers. So you should be an expert in your customers' pain so that you can provide the pain relief. Yeah. So exactly, Sherry Ann's got it bang on. Put yourself in your customers' shoes. What do they feel about it? They don't wake up and say, I want a VA service. They wake up and say, I need to get more time. And then they have choices, don't they? Do they work more, sacrifice more of their time for their family, with their family, or their private time, run themselves down? Or do they find another way to do it more efficiently? Could they buy a productivity course, or do they need a VA? So when people are busy and they want more time, there's not just your option, there's lots of options. But where people build trust is when the people talking to them, whether it be content, posts, blogs, whatever, are saying or are articulating things in a way that is relevant to them. So it's important to them. So that's the key principle of this, pain and pain relief. Yeah, absolutely. Empathy, you want to be on the customer's side and be an ally of the customer. So you shouldn't be just going, here's my wares, because it won't work. No, Dereko's asked, should we do it negative or positive? Well, you can actually use two. Would you like more time and not be spending hours and hours on boring tasks? But there's a line you can go with negative messaging, and negative messaging. Sorry, Rachel. Yeah. Rachel, there's a line you can go with negative messaging that actually works. And I'm not talking about poking holes. I'm not talking about making fun. I'm talking about, let's look at our human behavior. And I'm not saying be nasty and unpleasant here, but if I said to you, 10 reasons why your content isn't converting. Yeah, that would be a highly engaging piece of content. But equally, 10 ways to supercharge your content on social media would also work because they're both hitting at the same problem. So there's a problem. The problem is people are frustrated that their content isn't doing anything for them. So I can go negative or positive. Generally speaking, by the way, the negatives get more interest because it's more mirroring how we think about it. So usually what happens is the way we think about it, we think with the negative, why is this happening? Why are my sales numbers flat? Why? And then we go, how can I get the sales numbers up? So remember before we said problem, outcome, decision, solution. So it starts with, how can I get my sales figures up? Then it goes to, why are my sales figures down? Why are my sales figures flat? Then once they've reconciled that, they go, well, how can I get this up? How can I fix that problem? How can I solve it? So then they go, well, let's have a look. How can I get the sales figures up? Yeah. And then they Google, they go on the internet, they find things on social media. Some people might live with that problem for a long time. Some people might take ages believing that this is the best they can be. They don't realize there's another way. They might not realize that a VA could actually help them. They might not have considered it for them. So they start with the negative. Then they start looking for the positive. How can I change this? Then they start to look and go, should I make a decision? Should I do something? What should I do? Who should I, should I do something about it? So then they start seriously paying more attention. And then it comes to, I'm going to get a solution. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take it on. Problem, outcome, decision, solution. Problem, outcome, decision, solution. So if people can make a decision, to do something about something and never actually take a solution. So, my web traffic's down. I know. How can I get my web traffic up? I know. I'll Google and find lots of solutions, or I'll contact somebody I know on LinkedIn. They make an inquiry and never decide to take action. Or they decide to take action but never make a decision to move to a solution. They never accept a solution. So all the way through the process, people stop. So your content in the problem, outcome, decision, solution is to actually move people along. Move people along. So show them they've got a problem. Show them there's a different way, an outcome. Show them that why it matters to make a decision. Why does it matter to make a decision? Why you can't keep living with flatlining sales. Why you shouldn't live with a constant toothache. Yeah? Show them why they should be making a decision and provide the solution. So pods is the thing that takes it along. So negative starts first, then they shift to looking for an outcome, and then they start to look at, should I make a decision? Yeah? Not, shall I make a decision to buy from you, but should I make a decision at all? Should I just live with it? Should I know I've got a problem, know that I don't have to have the problem, but still live with it? In other words, am I quite happy, even though I don't have to still walk with a crutch, to still walk with a stick? Yeah? Some people are quite happy to stay there. Tan May's asked about how to get your content in front of more people. And those who are here last week will know I provided a tool and a free resource to people to do exactly that. So if you want to know how to do that, and I think everybody generally who's been in that tool so far for a week, bearing in mind they haven't had this section of training yet, will know that you can massively amplify through that tool we did last week, which is called, not the same thing, but called a pod. So if you want that, message us hi@maverrik.com and we will give you the training and give you access to that so you can get involved. Just for those who came last week, you've had results. It's not by any means finished. We will keep going and we will keep tweaking and perfecting to get you up there. So please do stay in the groups. They will stay open. They're not just here for a week. You can use them for as long as people are consistent with them. And we will add people to those groups. So that's all there. So let me get on. Got distracted then. And we've only got half an hour left. So when you have no sales, you want sales. We've got no sales. I want sales. Problem, outcome. Problem, outcome. So here we go. You're already getting the frame here of the two key messages you've got to be sharing. Problems and outcomes. Problems and outcomes. So some rules for content, and then we'll go into a content method you can use for, this is primarily for sales type content that will hook customers. So here is some examples. So some rules for content. Less of we, more of you. Now, what do you mean by that? I mean, in your content, you should be talking to one person, and you shouldn't be talking about yourself. You should be talking about them. So the more we's, we, you, or I, or me, my, in your content, the less performance you get. So write it to one person. Imagine there's an ideal client profile and write your content to one person with their pain point. Yeah. So you, singular. So it resonates with them. If it's relevant to them, it's like it's been read for them. Right. So less we, more you. So all content for conversion, content for customers should be about them. And by them, I mean one person, you. So do you, not we can help you. It's do you. Next one. Write for a 10-year-old. Write for a 10-year-old. Hey, Queen. Welcome. A little bit late, but don't worry. You can catch the replay of this. So write for a 10-year-old. Now, the reason I put this here is sometimes, often we tend to waffle, or we put our jargon in there and we make sentences complicated. Short, simple, straightforward sentences will nail it every time. Absolutely. Do not think that adding more jargon, more waffle needs to happen. You talk about the pain, you talk about the outcome, all of those things, but keep it to a 10-year-old. Now, if you're writing a blog, or if you're writing an article or a long form piece of content, what you can do, or a script, even if you're doing videos and you're writing a script, or even just general social media posts, you can put it into Word. And in Word, if you Google, there's a Fleshman readability score. Fleshman readability score. And what that does is it tells you how easy to read your content is. The higher the score, the more simple and easy to read it is. Yeah. So I can't pronounce it. Fleshman readability score. So do make sure that you use this model to make sure that you're not over complicating your content. I receive a ton of pictures on LinkedIn, tons of them. They're all rubbish. I've taught, I don't know, in terms of writing sales messages for LinkedIn, maybe 5,000-6,000 people in 3-hour sessions, how to write content that does this. And no matter how many times I've put it out on LinkedIn, I still get messages from people that it takes me a few minutes to understand what the hell they're going on about. So write very simply, very short sentences, short paragraphs, particularly on posts. You don't want to be doing long paragraphs because it makes it harder to read quickly. So short sentences, short paragraphs, make it easy for a 10-year-old to read. Yes, so Raphael's just said something, valid point. If you're selling a membership service or anything like that, it's all about the member. It's all about the member, what they get from their membership. So again, Raphael, it doesn't mean you can't say what you do. It doesn't mean you can't say, but it's about them. We will help you do this. We will give you these benefits. That's get access to. You will have access to. So it's all about you, not we. So make the person own the content. If they're reading it, it's for them. Not they're reading about you. They're reading about something for them. Jano, we will go through the Fleshman Jano spelt it right. The Fleshman readability score in other sections. But if you go into Microsoft Word, you can do this test on your content. Just Google how you have to enable it in the review settings on Word, and then it will give you a score. I believe it's from 0 to 100, 0 to 10, and the 10th being the most easiest to read, and the lowest score being the hardest to read. No, I think I've got that the other way around. So 10 is hardest. And there's 2 different scores on there, so you use 2 different scores, but the Fleshman is the one that you want to get above 60%, which means 60% of the people will find it easy to read. So that's what you really want. Sorry, I got confused there. There's 2 scores on Word, but go ahead and read them, have a look on them, enable them, and it will give you a test when you do your spelling and grammar check. And it will say, this is how easy it is to read. And there's little cues, little question marks by the side of it that tells you how easy it is to read. I generally aim that our content is able to be read by what in the US terms is a 6th grader. 6th grader. So that's important. Length of content. We'll go through a model of content in a second. Sherry Ann knows about this Fleshman readability score in way better than I do. There's 2 scores in there that are really important, and they both cross-check with each other. So if you look at both, but generally you want it easy to read for a 10-year-old. If you can do that, everybody will get it. And then importantly in the content, depending on what you're selling, if you're selling something really big, so some would say high ticket or big ticket item or big ticket service, don't try and just sell the whole thing in one hit. Take it step by step. So your content should just sell the next step. So if you're producing content, an article, a blog post, sell the next step you want people to take. Don't sell this full solution, sell the next step. So if your sales process is somebody makes an inquiry, you do a discovery call, or you have a conversation to discuss what they need, just sell the discovery stage. Just sell the conversation. Don't try and go through the whole process. Just sell the next stage of your process. If you try and do the whole thing, one, you may run out of lines, and two, you're asking people to digest too much in one go. Think about it like for every customer that comes on board, they will have had to see you 4, 5, 10 times in various different ways if you're just doing content. So the average is somewhere between 7 and 15 times they will have heard, seen, or interacted with you in some way before they feel confident to make an inquiry or find out more. Now, there's always exceptions to the rule, but generally it's 7 to 15 times that happens. So your content, you're playing a long game on the content to get a big harvest in the long run. So, Jonathan, a low ticket item or a free item to. So let me give you an example. I'll give you my honest example. Why do I run these free webinars? Why do I give? I don't give all our content away. I only give a section of it away. But why do I do it? I'll tell you why, and then this might help Jonathan. So I run these free sessions. We get anywhere between 100 and the biggest one was 3,500. That's the kind of range we get, and we do them every week. The reason we do them is we want to get our name known in the world with people who need marketing help and need marketing training and business growth training. That's number one. Number two, the reason why we do this is we believe the book. We believe this book that you need 1,000 fans to grow the business. Yeah. Now we can either go hunting for fans or we can talk to them and help them. And then they rave about us. They share, they subscribe on YouTube. They come follow me on LinkedIn. They become my Facebook friends. They follow the company pages. That's why we're doing it. And a percentage of you will go, these guys have got something to offer and I want to pay to be part of their more in-depth stuff. That's why we do it. Yeah. So Jonathan, that's how I do it. So I've got a free service we put out every Tuesday night, free training, any questions we answer, with the aim that a small number will join our paid services. And that's the way we do it. Now, we've got smaller ticket courses. I'll show you one of those tonight. So we have Charlotte, and then we have more higher ticket courses right the way through to people booking me for a day to spend with them to look at their business and see how they can optimize it. So we've got everything from free to 45 quid to 10,000 quid, but they all are on a journey. And we believe that if somebody comes in with a small, they see the value, they shout about the value, and some people will buy. So it's a very broad, very long-term strategic plan that we've done, and that's why we do it. So Jonathan, that may help you in the way you do it. Okay, just a couple of things. Actually, perfect timing. Thanks for coming. Tomorrow, I will come to the P method, so don't check out because this isn't the end. I've just got to share this with you. Tomorrow, we've got some spaces on our LinkedIn course, which is actually implementing some of this and some of the strategies we use for LinkedIn. It's in dollars because this is a US course, so it's partially subsidized because it's a US course. Thank you, subsidies. So if you want to join it, it's advertised at the moment for $90 all the way up to $245, depending on what you want from the course. It's live with me. So if you want it, it's there. Don't worry. I'm going to move on. Paul, exactly the example. So if you want it, it's there. We'll send you an email about this if you've registered, but because it's an American course, it's subsidized. If you want to get access to it, you can actually get access for half price because it's an American course. So please do go ahead, enter the code, get it. Fine. Let's move on. There's my sales pitch, by the way. That's it. So if you've seen value in what I do, wait till you see the LinkedIn course. We've actually delivered that for Amazon and all sorts of big companies as well. But that's available tomorrow. So it's only tomorrow, and then we're stopping LinkedIn till September, the main course that we do for LinkedIn till September. So you won't be able to get that course till after the summer. So the P method. So the P method is a really simple way of structuring content. Now, this works brilliantly for articles. It works brilliantly for blogs. It even works brilliantly for webinars. So whatever you're doing with content, this is a great, simple method to create content. It's a little bit different on posts because you don't have as much space to do this, but you can actually adapt it if you become very, very cute and smart with the text you write, so you don't block up too much space. So again, remember the rules. Talk to a 10-year-old. Make it about them, you, not we. So it's talk to one person, and all about the pain and the outcome. Very, very important. So the P method. So, I've got a typo in here, but don't worry about it. So the P method, headline. Just like email marketing. Sorry, I need a little drink. Just bear with me. So just like email marketing, the subject line, the top line people see on your post, your headline, your title of your blog, whatever it is, that will determine success or failure of your content. If that's boring, if it doesn't talk to the outcome, it doesn't talk to the pain point, it will not work. It will not work. So the pain, it has to be in the headline. How to get without and not something. So I've got an article on my LinkedIn. Go have a look at it if you want. It's called The Reason Why Coaches Struggle to Get Clients. It's one of the best articles I've had in terms of conversion. The reason why coaches struggle to get clients. So that's my headline. So now I go into the content, the substance of the content itself, and I use more pain again. So a pain. And the reason I use pain again is because I want to make sure that people realize that without, they have to engage with me. They have to emotionally invest in the post to read it to the end. So if I was, are you a coach who struggles to get clients? My headline, I would then go into talking about that pain in a bit more detail. Or as we would say in the UK, put salt in the wound, rub it in, stir the pot. Yeah. Share about the pain point and how it might be affecting them. So in a VA scenario, are you struggling for time? Do you feel resentful when you check out from work at 5:30, knowing that your task list's not done? Do you feel like you've got a backlog of stuff that never will be finished? Yeah. I'm asking people to emotionally invest and go, yes, that's me. That's my problem. I feel like that. I'm having that problem. We're experiencing that problem in our business. Why? You're getting emotional investment in the content, and you're getting relevance in the sense of they're now identifying this piece of content is for me. It's for me. And that's why we're doing it. That's why we're rubbing the pain in. That's why we're talking about the pain in more detail, because they're saying, this is for me. This is what I'm experiencing. A bit like my LinkedIn post the other day, my Facebook post, how to get customers to know or to think you're psychic, because you're talking the way they're thinking. So pain, more pain. Now, the next section is the picture. What does the fix look like? Somebody buys your service, somebody buys your product, somebody buys your membership. What do they feel like now? What's the outcomes they're getting? What does that feel like? Imagine you're sat in that brand new car. What's that experience feel like when you get in the car? You feel over the world, over the moon. You've got a nice new car. You're really excited to drive it. What does that feel like? What's the outcome to the pain? What does the world beyond the painkiller look like? You've got the pain. Now you've had the painkiller. How does it feel now? The picture. That's the picture. Then you need a proof. So this has to be true. You can't make it up. There's lots of people on the internet that can make things up, but you mustn't make it up. Otherwise, that doesn't make you disingenuous. It makes you a scammer. So you have to be truthful in your proof stories. So you have to share a story of somebody who's in a similar boat, similar situation to that client, and how you've helped them. Again, communicate it as a story, not as a formal case study. Communicate it as a story about how somebody else has had the benefit of your product, service, or solution. This is where they were. This is where they are. Now, you might have to anonymize it because some people might not want to share it, but you can share it and anonymize it, and that's very, very easy to do. Now, if you're writing a blog or an informative piece, you will probably want to give some points, some tips. So these could be hints. So you don't, and I shared this with somebody earlier, you don't share how to do it for themselves in full. You share for them how to find the full answer. So for an example, very, very simple points, not the full answer that they can go away in action. Give them enough to have a go, give them enough to see the difference it can make, but don't give the whole game away. One, you won't have enough space. And two, if you give everything to everybody, you'll have nothing to give away when they come back. So make sure you give them a teaser of the value you can give in the points, but not enough that they go away and you don't have anything more to give. So if you've got 100%, give on a free piece, give them 25%. Give them 25% because there's still a ton of value you've got left to give. Don't worry so much about if you're selling a service or know-how. Don't worry too much about giving too much away that they go and have a go without you. The reason being is the real value in your business is not in people having a go without you. It's when they go and have a go and still don't know enough to do it in full. So they will come back to you as the person who showed them how that's helped them, but they now need more. So you've given them a gateway to the outcome, but now they need some more help to push on through and take hold of it. So don't be worried about giving too much. Human Sparkler said dream. Dream, you need to be very careful with the word dream. It has to be achievable for the vast majority. Where some of the internet marketers go wrong is they actually sell something that only like less than 1% of people can actually achieve. What we need to be doing is going, can the majority, if they apply what we're saying, achieve a goal? So you can't say it's something, dream, maybe I'm just picking up on it, Human Sparkler, but it has to be more realistic than a dream. Yeah. So think of it like a majority of people, from whatever value you give, whatever service you provide, the majority have to get the benefit. If the majority don't get the benefit, you're risking being disingenuous. So it has to be a bit more detailed than that and a bit more substance than that. And then the final point, and most people, what they do is they write a really interesting article about something that's not tied to a sales process and then dump at the bottom, if you'd like to know more, please contact us. No, this is where you sell your next step. So if you've seen these points, if you've seen the value we can give and you want to find out how we can help you achieve and grow your business, complete this form, sign up here, whatever your next step is. And that's the really simple formula, the P method. Pain, more pain, picture, proof, points, pitch. Now, you have to work on that to build that in. Aben, you can use this method as... so if your headline for your event on Facebook or online show is an outcome, you can then use a little description, which is the more pain. If you use a pain outlet, you can do more. But also bear in mind that humans generally think in threes. So humans think in threes. So 1, 2, 3. You only need 3 points in anything that you're doing. So if, Eben, you're writing an event, 3 points are good, 4 are to push. So we generally use 4 points on an event, 4 centric points that reinforce some of the outcomes and how they can get them in the sessions. So 3 or 4 points, generally human speaking, thinking threes. So never go more than 3 or 4 points maximum. So just to recap, people go through a process where their problem and the outcome, they have to make a decision to buy a solution. So you need to focus all your content for selling, not every content, but your selling content around a problem and around an outcome. High ticket depends on the audience you're talking to, but generally what I like to think about is how much will this... So I think about high ticket, and this all depends on your worldview as well. So if I'm convincing somebody, and this is how we work as a business, and this might help you understand it. We have a principle in Maverrik that we will never sell something if we don't believe the customer, the purchaser of our product or service, cannot get more than 10 times the value in a 3-month period. So let's say, for an example, our LinkedIn course, the top end ticket on there without the discount is about just under $300, £300. So let's think about it as £300. We're looking and going, for us to justify to ourselves selling that at £300, our customers have to get 10 times the value within 3 months. So that's how we think about our price. Now, high ticket actually requires a much bigger payoff. So we view high ticket as anybody who needs to make a return of more than £10,000 in a quarter, in 3 months, because that would mean our ticket price is £1,000 or more. So whatever we're doing, we're looking at it and going, a high ticket requires high results. And that's how we think about it. So we think about it a bit differently to the conventional high ticket. Most high ticket is, it's a big price, but we look at it as we've got to deliver a big outcome. So £1,000 ticket for us would equal a £10,000 result in 3 months for our customers. Now, not every course you can do that on, but generally I would go in this climate, particularly right now, anything above £1,000 into the average market of the UK or the US or other world, £1,000 is high ticket. But then if you are going into larger corporates, so we do some corporate work, obviously high ticket takes a whole different meaning there, where high ticket then is your 25, 35 and £40,000 that way on. So that's how you need to think about it. Depends on your market because your economy is different. So I can sell a ticket here today, for an example, the LinkedIn course. I can sell that as a group course here live, subsidized for the US. I can sell that today, but I'm also selling corporate programs which are massively more than that. So you need to think about it in terms of your market. What's the price point for your market? Because high ticket to individuals and high ticket to a corporate are very different. So it's really based on, we work on the basis of, it's about our outcome value rather than our ticket price. Our ticket price is determined by our outcome. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant to explain that. Any other questions? Anybody want to talk about any questions? If any of you'd love to come on LinkedIn with me tomorrow, it's a 2.5-hour program. So it's very in detail, very tutorial. So I'd love to have you there. Go get it. It's a no-brainer price whilst it's subsidized. In the UK, we actually do fully subsidized courses, some courses with some government agencies. So you'll see them on government websites and local area partnership websites. We do them kind of fully funded. They're paid for by the government. And the US ones are part subsidized. When we come back to live events, we'll be doing our own pricing. But at the moment, we're charged with a lot of support for small businesses in the UK, and we've got subsidies for the US course. Yes, Human Sparkler, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Talk to the person, sell the pain, show the picture, proof, some points. And those points, if you were selling on a sales page, those points would be the benefits. So they would be learn how to do this in more detail. And then the pitch is buy now. Buy now. Any other questions? You're all quiet tonight. You're very quiet. So I've got really bright lights on me today because it's starting to go dark a little bit. So I'm feeling the heat tonight. Any other questions about this? Do you want me to go through any slides for you? I really think that this is the most important slide of tonight. Stop writing content for shoppers. Start writing for buyers. Start thinking about the people who are experiencing the problem before they start looking. Start thinking about the problem before they start looking for the solution. That's where your real value is, because that's where you bypass. Creating content is boring. It doesn't have to be. Ankit, I tell you what, I'll lay a challenge to you. Ankit, private message me, and this next week we'll have a chat. And I'll I can't help everybody on here. There's 83 people. There's too many. Unless you want a private session, in which case I'll be happy to oblige. But Ankit, private message me, and we'll jump on Google Hangouts, and I'll show you, because you've been to a couple now, so you've been loyal. So I'll help you out. Anybody else got any questions? So let me give you some insights from our business that'll help you with the content. We do a lot of marketing, ton of marketing. Yeah, we don't do any cold calling or anything like that. But we are very aggressive marketing people. We will put the problem in front of tens of thousands of people every week. That's what we do. And that allows us, that, as the book, The Curve says, if you put yourself in front of 1 million people with the right one message, the very singular, powerful message, the customers will find you. And that's exactly what we do. Sherry Ann, creativity. It's actually really simple to write content. Let me just share something with you. Let me just go off screen. So I don't know whether you can see this, but it's a very simple template to help you understand what you're trying to do. So sorry, I'm putting this up as a card. I have this on my desk, and I have the 3 boxes here. The first 3 are who I'm targeting. So am I starting? So whatever problem I'm looking at, what size business are they? So I generally deal with business owners, small business owners, corporates. That's who we deal with. So I look at, are they startups? Are they established business? Are they corporates? So who are they? I've mapped the problem, and then I go, what tone am I going to do? Negative or positive? Never go neutral, really, because neutral is it doesn't really get as much emotional attention. And then I look at, what is it on the end, this side here, what am I trying to get them to do next? Is it buy one of our books, our little books, buy one of our downloads? Is it come to a training event, or is it consultancy? And I use this to write everything that I write so that I can see where I'm pushing people all the time. Yeah. What am I pushing? Who is it? What's the tone? And what's the goal here? So it's a very simple little content map. And actually, if you go on my YouTube channel, I actually explain this in a video about content. So you can go onto my YouTube, Dean Seddon, and you'll find a video about content. So just Google, go into YouTube and play Dean Seddon content, and you'll find that in there. Any other questions? Samay. Oh, the group. So Samay, we have a group that helps amplify your content. Wherever he is, Ankit came last week. Ankit came last week and was skeptical, and he's seen the increase in his content views. So please message us hi@maverrik.com, and we will get you the details. I tell you what I'll do. I will email you a copy of this. I will email a copy of this to you tomorrow as a blank template. So who it is, the tone I'm taking, and the goal I want to get out of that piece of content. So Tanmay, the link for the support group is in the chat now. So join the chat group, and I will see you in there. Human Sparkle is asking how much is a session. If you go to our shop.maverrik.com, you can see all our courses, products, and everything. Peter, yes, we do. So we have a team here who research customers, find details, map them, find them in the world, all of that kind of stuff. So just drop us a line. But I will email you this card. If you want to join me tomorrow on LinkedIn, you can do. That would be awesome to have you. We'll go through content and how to leverage LinkedIn in that way tomorrow. Don't forget to put the discount code in. I'll email you the slides. Please do join the group, by the way, the WhatsApp group. It's in the chat. That will help you amplify your content. But do not use it to just amplify promo, because it won't work. You have to create highly engaging content, and that will make it work for you. So, yes, Peter, we can do that research for you. Probably the best thing to do is book a strategy session from the store.maverrik.com with me, and I will go through it with you and help you. And then we will map it out. Our team will map it out and send you it back. We can even actually find the exact people. We're pretty good at that stuff. So Tanmay, email us, hi@maverrik.com, and we'll get that any information to you. Any other questions? Any other questions? The store link's in the chat as well. Any other questions? I'm here. So if you want the help, I'm more than happy to answer any questions whilst I'm here. And then once you stop talking, I will end the stream. Once you say you've had enough, and thank you very much. If there's any more questions, I'll keep going. Aben, great to see you in the group. I will, if you're already a member of the group, don't worry. I will share some more training with you tomorrow, because obviously a number of you have joined tonight who are new. So I will put some new information in there tomorrow so that you understand what's happening. So that's no problem at all. Any other questions? No? Just as an aside, if you're feeling the love, please do subscribe to our YouTube here. And also, please do find our Google Maverrik, and give us a review on Google. That would be really helpful. That's awesome. Human Sparkler, don't worry too much. Tomorrow we will send you the replay link by email. We will send you the replay link. We'll send you the template and the slides. So Alice, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. We'll send you all the details tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow morning. So if you want to join the LinkedIn session tomorrow, you need to book in pretty quick, because it's in UK afternoon. So if you want to book that in, please do. But we'll send everything. How to write a good blog. Tanmay, how to write a good blog is that format. The P format will do it. If you write in that structure and you use this card, that will get you there. That will get you there. Pain points, P method, card to understand the tone and what you're trying to achieve. Done. Alice, just email us and let us know. Laxmi, if you're part of our support group, we go through this. We have some set times where we post for maximum amplification, so please do. Sameh, join the WhatsApp group. There's a link in the chat to the WhatsApp group, and in there you will get, it's called the Maverrik support group, and we will share more information. That's it. So join the Maverrik support group on WhatsApp. That's the space to get all this information. So please do go join it, and we'll provide all the information in there for you, how to amplify your content. And literally, if you join tonight, follow the training in the morning when I put my next video in there, you will have higher views tomorrow night. Like this time tomorrow, you'll have higher views than you did today. My voice is nearly gone. Any more questions before I'm sorry, I'm drinking my cup of tea because I've been talking for an hour and my voice is starting to get a little rough. Any other questions? I'm here to help you until we sign off. And then you have to buy something, sorry. Okay, well, if there's no more questions, I'll wrap up now. Human Sparkler, we'll talk all about that in the WhatsApp group, the best way to send traffic. Human Sparkler, the best way to get traffic to your website and sales page, hands down, LinkedIn. Hands down. I'm teaching people on LinkedIn. We run group courses for corporates and small courses like this for... yeah, Prayesh, I'll accept your request on LinkedIn. We're helping people get 1 to up to 5,000 views average per day on LinkedIn, which is translating to a 1 or 2% click-through rate. So Human Sparkler, if you want more traffic to your website or landing page or sales page, LinkedIn is it. If you don't want that said, obviously, if you use Facebook ads and spend money, that's the way. But if you want to do it without spending any money, LinkedIn is it. Yeah, it's the best way to get traffic. 46% of all B2B web traffic comes from LinkedIn. So it literally outguns Facebook, Twitter, and all the others put together. So it's massive. Any other questions? So tomorrow, if you want to join me on LinkedIn, it's 2:30 BST. So that's 8:30, I believe, in the US Central Time. Just double check that. But it'd be great for you to join. Prayesh. Yes, I will accept your LinkedIn's. How? Human Sparkler. You get on the LinkedIn course tomorrow. It's 50% off, $45, 2.5 hours of tolerating me. But you'll literally know exactly how to do it, exactly how to grow your connections, exactly how to do it all. So if you know, there's only so much I can do in a live session, but if LinkedIn, get there, we'll do it. Right, I'm going to sign off because Prayesh wants me to accept his LinkedIn request, as does Tanmay. So thank you so much for being part of tonight's session. Please do rave about, if you've got value from this, please tell people about it. Obviously, you're not going to tell your competitors, but please do tell friends, other colleagues. We love helping people and giving value, and it's part of our business strategy. The more people we help, the more revenue we will ultimately get. So it's in our interest to help you for free every Tuesday, 7 till 8. So, Samay, I'll have tea with you the next time I'm in India. Done. Awesome, guys. Have a great rest of the week. I'll see you in the support groups, or I may see you live tomorrow in our 2.5 hour LinkedIn training session with demos. And if not, I'll see you next week for our next live session. Go to Eventbrite. You can get registered for free. Thanks, guys. See you next week.